Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Yeah.
What it do, baby, as it's good to stay in the streets. Obviously, it is your boy Pride. It's another beautiful week, another beautiful Monday morning. I'm here with your favorite crew, obviously, Coach Dante, the biggest fan of those Portland Trailblazers. Greg apparently has been on one because ever since the Chiefs won, this man has been like Tom Brady after the
Oh my God.
He has been obviously, we got Jonathan, who is very confused right now. He doesn't know if he should be happy or sad that the Lakers won.
Jonathan had
And
a
then
tough
obviously
weekend.
we have Jake the Snake Silva, who if I'm understanding this correctly, you're a Raiders fan. If I understand this,
Nah, he a Chargers.
Nah, diehard Chargers fan. Yeah.
You're a Chargers fan. Okay, so you guys kind of have something going on, but then
Oh yeah,
Pittsburgh.
Been a tough week for Mr. Jonathan.
We're gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna say this right now. He don't want no smoke. I promise. I'll say everything. When we get there, I promise you.
Isaiah Stewart acted tough.
Yes,
exactly.
But before we get into that, Sunday Night Football was absolutely hilarious. By the way, the NFL is the only league I know where punching someone and pointing at someone equals the same penalty. God bless this game. I love the National Football League. I love it. So on Sunday, let's see, I want to pull all this stuff up. So on Sunday, the Ravens somehow beat the Bears, even though, everyone and their moms is up for their roster. The Vikings upset the Packers, even though everyone and their moms said that was impossible. And I was like, yo, don't be surprised. The Colts handled the Bills to the point where, mind doing a picture on one of the AFC East. Thank you, hold your plus. The Browns somehow squeaked by the Lions, and I've said this before, I will vote for the Lions. I'm picking the Lions for the rest of the year. I'm picking them. And when they eventually win, I can say I was on the winning side of that. There's going to be some losses, but I'm willing to ride and die with a team that's not even mine. The Washington football team ended up winning a pretty entertaining game against the Panthers, 27-21. The Texans surprisingly handled their business against the Titans. The 49ers beat the Jags, Dolphins over Jets. The Eagles beat the Saints, Bengals over the Raiders. The Cowboys outlasted the Chiefs in what frankly was a dud of a game. The Cardinals honestly handled their business in Seattle. The Chargers, beautiful shootout with them in Pittsburgh. I did not expect that to be a shootout. I'm talking about the Pittsburgh side of things. But the Chargers got the win, and that wraps up Sunday. So the $1 million question. Matter of fact, now let me pose Travis this question because everyone was billing this as the game of the week, right? Cowboys and Chiefs, right? I was the lone guy saying, I guess I didn't think it was gonna be the game of the week. So, Coach Dante, because you was the one. Matter of fact, no, Greg.
Yes.
Oh man.
Have your moment, my guy. Go ahead.
I told y'all last week we back. I wore this AFC champ. These are the shirts you get, Cowboy fans, when you win your conference. You get a conference championship. Y'all ain't did it since 95, so y'all done forgot, what these shirts look like. So I wore it for y'all. The Chiefs are back. I told y'all last week that wasn't a fluke. And we got a defense now. Telling y'all, it's on. The Cowboys are who we thought they were. Stop overhyping them. Please stop. Please stop overhyping this team. They are good. They are a playoff team. I'll give you that.
But they're not the
Dallas Cowboys are not a Super Bowl team. Stop it.
Talk to
Not yet. They have playmakers, but they don't have the right coach.
Jonathan,
That's part of the problem. Yeah.
They don't have. Look, Mike McCarthy is not fit.
Adorable.
He's not fit. He's not fit to coach that Cowboys team.
That's crazy. See, this is why. So we're a Super Bowl team, but then we're not. It was the coach, but now that we got a new coach, it's still the coach's fault. Even though Dak Prescott was still missing some pretty
look at the
good
play
passes.
calling. Look
Y'all
at the play calling.
receivers all of a sudden had butterfingers. I'm not blaming Mark McCarthy on any of that loss that had.
But Pride, some of those passes from Dak was on the money, and his receivers dropped a
That's
lot.
what I said. Some passes Dak missed, and there were some that he hit that there were dots, and the receivers just let him go. So I'm not blaming Mark McCarthy at all. I'm telling you right now, this L right here, and Jake, maybe you and I see this differently, but this L, this is one of those L's you cannot blame. You can like in Dallas, you can't blame the coach. You gotta blame it strictly on the player.
There's enough blame to go around for everyone. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that the way that just the Cowboys had been playing, and again, like think about it, this is now the second AFC team that the Cowboys dropped on. And I mean, even though the only win that they got it against, which honestly, it should have never even went the way it did, was against the Chargers. And that one was because the Chargers beat themselves. Penalty after penalty, undisciplined football. It was terrible. And that's how Dallas was able to win that game. But the game against Denver, I did not see that one coming because you're playing at home and Denver rolls all over you. And then Kansas City, which is the most important. And I say this as an AFC West fan. When you playing the Chiefs and the defense, honestly, is suspect, the only thing you have to do is take advantage of it. And I don't feel like the rest of the playmakers really took advantage of the opportunity. And that's what cost them that kind of loss. 9 points? Like, it's unacceptable.
And that's why I had confidence in them winning the game, because I thought they could, pick apart that defense, which they should have, with the way that the Kansas City defense has performed all year.
Yeah.
They just didn't, like you said, they just didn't take advantage of those opportunities. And how can you blow a game like this? You have a chance to go on the road. You have a chance to build some momentum, steal a victory in Kansas City, where it's very tough to play with all the conditions and the
fans,
and everything.
Oh yeah.
And for the Cowboys to blow a game of that magnitude, it says a lot about this team, and it really exposes them, to say the least. And now we can't really take the Cowboys as seriously as we did in week 1, or week 2, or even week 3.
And you're coming off of a massive win against the Atlanta Falcons, 43-3, and you come up on the road against Kansas City, and then it's like you performed like that. Like those, I guarantee you, is what pops questions about how serious are we about the Cowboys. Like things like that.
And let me ask you a question, Dante, because I want to pose this to you, because a lot of people were saying Dallas will be back. We're okay. We didn't have Amari Cooper, who I will say this about Amari Cooper. Maybe a lot of people disagree with me when I say that. He is one of the most overhyped wide receivers in the league because he plays like a role player. Like at home, he loves popping off. On the road, he's like, oh, shivering timbers. Like the dude is literally shaking in his cleats. So let me ask you, Dante, do you think if Amari was playing and CeeDee Lamb didn't get a concussion, even though he really wasn't doing, do you think possibly the Dallas still could have won?
No excuses. CeeDee Lamb always checks out against. I mean, not CeeDee Lamb, but Amari Cooper always checks out against great teams. Patriots, a couple of years ago, he only had one catch in that football game. And yesterday, it wouldn't have made any type of difference. You can go back to a couple another year. I think that was a couple of years ago against the Eagles. He took himself out the game. I don't know if that was a coaching thing, or I don't know if it was him checking himself out. But Amari Cooper checks out in big time football games, so I don't want to hear none of that. Amari Cooper is elite, or is he not? Or is he this? He just like when big time, when teams like Atlanta and anything like that under 500, he'll show up. But when teams like the Kansas City Chiefs or a pretty decent team like the Chargers or something like that, he would not show up on those games. Or New England, he would not show up in those type of atmosphere type of games. That's just the receiver he is. And Right now, I don't like Amari Cooper as a elite receiver, and I don't think it would have made a difference if they had him. CeeDee Lamb probably would have been probably more of a difference if he didn't get a concussion. They got an interesting decision to make if they're going to re-sign Michael Gallup this year. I don't think they will because you got CeeDee Lamb and you got Cedric Wilson, who's emerging as well as a good number 3 receiver. So I'll say I think CeeDee Lamb is legit, but I don't think Amari Cooper is that legit. I don't think he's all of that. So again, I don't think it would have made a difference.
And
No,
also,
he's a flashy name because where he came from. You know, he played for Alabama. So, I mean, when you come into the league, there's a lot expected of you if you come out of Alabama. And
CeeDee Lamb was in Oklahoma.
Yes. CeeDee Lamb was in Oklahoma. But Amari Cooper, man, there was a lot of expectations placed on him. He entered the league, and he just hasn't really panned out. I mean, he's had his moments where he's looked really great, where he's played consistent football, but then he has taken a step back, and his game hasn't been nearly as good as it was when he first entered the league.
And this is the funny part about because I want to put some context to this loss, right? Patrick Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown. I want to say that one more time. Patrick Mahomes did not throw a touchdown. And he got lost by 10.
Neither did Dak, though.
yeah, that didn't throw one either.
Dak didn't throw one either.
Dak threw 2 picks.
Yep.
But here's my point with that. You had a position to win. Because if we're going to be honest, the game really wasn't out of proportion until I'd say about the middle of the third. I think the middle of the third is when Dallas mentally checked out and accepted the L. Which to me made no sense.
Well,
They really checked out before halftime. Let Greg talk about it, though, man. He's been waiting.
You said halftime they mentally checked out. You
They
think that?
checked out right before halftime.
You think so? Because I'll be honest with you, like,
I think
and
so.
not only that, like, look, Tony Pollard, 7 carries for 50 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 9 carries for 32 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 12 carries for 63 yards. Tyreek Hill had a carry for 33 yards. Darrell Williams, 5 carries for 15 yards. Patrick Mahomes scrambled 7 times for 11 yards. Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. Who, I love Travis Kelce.
Hey.
I like him. The dude is the slowest man on that. There's linemen who are faster than him. And you got the kid, you got Adrian looking at you talking about, yep, I'm running with him. What you gonna do about it? Like,
Yeah.
Well, Pride. Here's the thing: is another thing about this game was Steve Spagnuolo outcoached Kellen Moore.
Yes.
Yeah.
He put Kellen Moore in his place in this game. Like, no, you are not this elite. He's
offensive
great
coordinator.
Greatest offensive mind. No.
Yeah.
Give credit to Steve Spagnuolo. This is one of the best defensive games of the season that Spags put on, and a lot of people here in Chiefs Kingdom, we were getting on Spags, especially early on, during the season. But this defense is turning the corner. And I'm telling y'all now, it's trouble for everybody else because the AFC is wide open. The AFC is wide open.
And I will say this also because the fact of here's a few things. College football, I'm a big time Boise State fan, and I loved watching Kellen Moore play at quarterback and watching him in the year when he was third in the Heisman Trophy running. When Cam Newton ended up winning it, I mean, he is smart. He is very smart when it comes to opening up the playbook, finding out what his spots are, and what is the right decision as a quarterback, as a playmaker, needs to be executed against opposing defenses. Now, he's not quite there yet, but he's working on it year in, year out. I mean, you've got 10, 15 years, especially at his age, knowing he couldn't get a job as a quarterback anywhere in the league. And So being a young offensive coordinator, it's going to take time for this puppy to brew. But
Right.
Steve Spagnuolo, well respected as a defensive coordinator. I remember loving watching the defenses of the Giants when they were winning Super Bowls, and how that defense under Spagnuolo was really working. The Chiefs, of course, let me just tell you, and you're absolutely right. The AFC West is so wide open. I never expected it to be this wide open. I expected it to be very competitive because the Chiefs right now, you know what their offense looks like. Defense needs a ton of adjustments because the last thing they want to be is suspect, especially against teams over 500. And then the Chargers have a complete squad, but the problem of it is run defense is terrible. I mean, I've known it where the Cowboys was walking all over the Chargers. Dalvin Cook was walking all over the Chargers. Every running back in this league, I'm sure Najee Harris was too. But the fact that, the AFC West has a lot of question marks. Who really wants this division more? But it gets exciting from here. But the Cowboys, give it time for Kellen Moore to really work this thing out. I'm not saying bail on him right now. It's just these are part of the experiences. Even if you're put in the head coach position, you got to go through some of these struggles. You got to kind of go through the trenches in order for you to really figure things out. I mean, it wasn't that easy for Kansas City to even fix this offense the second Eric Bieniemy came to play. Yeah. So it'll take a little bit of time. I love what Dallas's pieces are outside of Amari Cooper because you're absolutely right about him. I just think that even the times with the Raiders, I mean, come on, Amari, you got to be the number one wide receiver. That's why you're put there in that position. But I don't think he plays like it. That's the reason they got CeeDee Lamb, because not just being a slot receiver, but he'll be a superstar in the next 2-3 years.
Right.
So it'll take time. I think Dallas is going to try to recover from this type of loss, but we know that in 3 of the AFC matches, they were able to beat the Chargers, which was a perfect opportunity because the Chargers were not prepared for it. Denver was a big-time loss. Then you have Kansas City in the middle of the mix, and so the only opponent now you got left is the Raiders. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
I will say this: with the Eagles and Washington coming up winning, I don't want to say anything about whether or not that if they'll be able to do it. Because look, if I'm not mistaken, the Eagles are gonna have to go on like some phenomenal record that like I don't think they're able to do. I think they'll be able to win some games, but I don't think they'll be able to win the division because they're still young. They still need to mature. You know what I mean?
Tough stretches.
Exactly. Because if the Eagles.
And who would have thought Flowers was the one way of them winning ball games?
Right.
Apparently, Nick Sirianni is growing up daffodils in his backyard every Sunday.
Right, but if watching if we watch the rest of the Eagles games, right?
Yeah.
Outside of one, which is the Giants, they're all in the same division.
Yeah.
So rest of the game, they played twice against the Giants, twice against the Washington football team, and one more time that their final game of the season is going to be against Dallas. So every game is literally within their division. So do they control their destiny? They do. Unfortunately, I believe that they're kind of clicking at the wrong time.
Yes.
I think they're clicking just a little bit too late. Like they let Dallas have a good, get some good speed, and they got too much distance to overtake. And I don't know. Again, maybe y'all disagree. Maybe y'all think it's Washington football teams can do it, but I just think right now, I just think it's too much to ask them.
No, you're on point. The Eagles have asserted themselves as a tough, nasty, physical team with a gritty win over the Saints. But I mean, it's a small sample size. This team is still in rebuild mode. So I mean, I don't think they can overcome or overtake what the Cowboys have done, but they are definitely peaking at a time where, hey, what can this team actually do next season? I'm interested to see what more they can do as a team collectively next season. So the Eagles are, kind of getting their mojo back. and they're kind of looking like a team again that can contend, but not this season.
Yeah, I
I
totally agree.
believe the division is out of it for the Eagles. I don't believe the wild card is out of it for them though. But the division games will always be the toughest games because, like I said again, you know those division teams. You know how they play. You basically know how each other play. So the division games are going to be the toughest games that they play, but they're not out of the wild card scenario. But I will say the division crown may be a little too late for them. They probably peaked a little bit too late for the division because
Yeah,
they do own tiebreakers over the Panthers. Now you own a tiebreaker over the Saints. And you own a tiebreaker over the Atlanta Falcons as well. So that's three most important teams in the wild card scenario that you do own tiebreakers over in case you do find a way to get hot. But the division, I think they probably peaked a little bit too late, but the wild card not so much too late. I think they're still in it. But again, anything can happen down there. I go into a groove that I don't underestimate nobody. I can't underestimate the Giants because of their record
Yep.
or the Jets because the Jets got some pretty decent wins this year. Cincinnati, Tennessee, they beat some good teams this year. So the way this league is, I don't know if you can trust an elite team. Elite team. There is no elite team right now in this NFL right now that you can say because everybody's getting beat by these young teams and these teams that's under 500. So you can't trust no elite team this year. It's no elite team in my eyes already this year. But the Eagles probably peaked at the division too late. But for the wild card scenario, I think they're still very much in that scenario.
Oh,
yeah.
this
And
is the
the Eagles, they were trying to find who they wanted to be,
Yeah.
and now I think the team has found this identity, and it's starting to show. It's starting to show what this team may be capable of in the future. But I just don't see them contending this year. I don't.
Go ahead, Jake. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, my thing of it is like when I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, I think you got to realize what it all took, like at least in the span of a year and a half. They had to recover massively out of the whole mess they had to make from last year. Like, listen, you watch a scary movie, right? And you see the part where people are like, don't open that door. Don't open that door because chaos starts coming out. That is what we try to warn the Philadelphia Eagles for the last few years because of the Carson Wentz deal, the Doug Peterson move, all of that stuff. This year, it's looked a little different. And I could tell you this. The Eagles have one of our former offensive coordinators, Shane Steichen. He is a difference maker, and he is what brings the best out of Jalen Hurts in the offense. Because if he's able to do that, growing Justin Herbert to be who he is, he's going to try to do the same thing when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Now, even if the division is really not close in their grasp, then it doesn't mean that they might not be thinking about the wild card, getting in there, punching a ticket into the playoffs. Now, the defense is banged up, and they need a little bit of help with as far as keeping themselves strong, keeping the leads on their side. But I love what this offense could really do. And now having Miles Sanders back from the IR, it's going to start to kind of revamp and juice up this team. But I agree the same thing when it comes to in-division matchups because Washington, honestly, they could try to sneak something out of their back pocket, but they're without their biggest defenders, Chase Young, Montez Sweat. So you're not going to have a whole lot of pressures. The only one you're going to rely on is John Bostic. But I think Washington, they're good. This just is not the year for them. And the Giants, I say this, they're one of those spoilers that you would see in certain conferences in college. They could be a team that could just be a spoiler for certain teams that they don't want to see in the playoffs. I mean, we've seen that several times. The Eagles didn't want to see the Cowboys in the playoffs. They certainly didn't want to see the Giants in the playoffs. That's why they did what they did. And then Washington was able to get in last year. So it's a little interesting, but I do like what the Eagles now are starting to kind of get into. But who knows what they'll finish by the end of this year.
Yeah, definitely. And like right now, the Eagles are behind the Niners in terms of like team looking in. So right now, if the Saints were to lose, the Niners would end up taking that last spot. And so the Eagles, they do have, so they can potentially win it depending on how things go. But like you said, breaking down the entire division, I mean, obviously the Washington football team they're still pieces away. You know, with all the injuries that defense, unfortunately, they're just not going to be able to contend. And the Giants, I'll be honest with you, I don't. At first, I thought the Giants would win the division, but I'll be honest, like this Giants team has been just perplexing. Like Joe Judge just does not know how to coach. He doesn't know what he's doing. When he's supposed to be aggressive, he's tentative. When he's supposed to be tentative, he's aggressive. He puts his team in very weird situations. And I was after like week 4, I was like, okay, if I'm the Giants, I say forget the season, screw the season. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open up the playbook. We're gonna see if Daniel Jones is our guy.
Yeah.
Because they need to figure that out. That's something they need to figure out, whether or not they want to give him a contract extension or if they want to go look for somebody else. That's something.
Time to start judging now.
Yeah.
That was a good one. But that's listen. They need to figure that out. For some unknown reason, they just I don't know what it is with them. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe football is hard. I mean, I play Madden on rookie mode. It does not seem that hard. So I just don't understand why they just can't get a grasp for it. Speaking the Giants get Saquon back.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Saquon for me is starting to fall in the same category as Christian McCaffrey. I want to love them. I want to say they're a top running back. I want to. But if I sneeze in South Carolina and they get injured in New York, that's a problem for me. That's a big problem.
But they're at higher risk of injury because the team relies on them heavily because they're going to be offense.
And I say this all the time. The best ability is availability. And if you're not that available to me, you could be the greatest running back 10 times over. But if you're not available to be on the court, it doesn't matter. Because you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, no matter what you could have given me, guess what you gave me? Zeros. You gave me a DNP. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But obviously, enough about the Cowboys Chiefs. I'm gonna start with you, Dante. Is there any other game that kind of like surprised you? Well, I know there's a few, but which one really like surprised you like crazy?
My Houston Texans going into Tennessee and winning a rainy type of game against the Tennessee Titans. It was a pretty impressive victory. We haven't scored a touchdown on the road since Cleveland. That was the last time we scored a road touchdown. And to see Tyrod Taylor run those 2 touchdowns, that was pretty good. But to see Ryan Tannehill look the way he did yesterday, he looked at a mess yesterday, and that proves that Tennessee balls around Derrick Henry. So that way, I mean, Ryan Tannehill doesn't have to throw that much. Now you really seen when the game is on the line, you really seen how Ryan Tannehill looked out there against pretty competitive defense. Like I know we are 2-8, but the defense has been competitive. The defense wasn't the reason why this team was losing. If your offense only putting up 9 points, 3 points, 5 points, that is not on the defensive side of the football. That is on the offensive side of the football. So we put up 22 yesterday, and the defense gained momentum. And Ryan Tannehill just looked it bad yesterday against this Texans defense. Desmond King had a pick in the end zone, which stopped at the 1. Terrence Mitchell caught a pick. I don't know what Ryan Tannehill was throwing at, who he was throwing the ball to. And then Desmond King catches another interception where Ryan Tannehill really shouldn't even throw the football. Adrian Peterson was hot in the first quarter, 9 yards, 40 yards. They stopped giving him the ball. And I'll say Ryan Tannehill just didn't have it yesterday. So that proves that Derrick Henry, they really miss Derrick Henry, because that takes some of the pressure off Ryan Tannehill's arm. And that keeps Ryan Tannehill from having to beat you down the stretch, which is he hasn't not proved that he can do that, and he can be that capable quarterback that you can turn to and say, hey, go make me a throw, go make me a play. So that proved yesterday. But I'm very impressed with my Houston Texans, and they fought real hard yesterday. So I was happy for David Culley in this defense to force 4 turnovers off Ryan Tannehill yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, look, to back up your point about the Houston Texans, they are top 4 in picks and top 4 in forced turnovers. So defensively, they gotta be doing something right. And obviously, I do like Ryan Tannehill, but anytime he throws 4 picks, anytime you get any quarterback to throw 4 picks, that defense is patting themselves on the back. Jonathan, was there any other game that kind of made you go, huh, that's crazy?
Yeah, for a lot of people, I think it was the Vikings and the Packers, but for me, it really wasn't. But I want to talk about this game because look, the Vikings are turning the corner at the right time. The Vikings suddenly look like a playoff team. They got dynamic playmakers on this team. They have 2 of the top wide receivers in the game right now.
Justin Jefferson is a dog.
Justin Jefferson is just a beast. He's a top level route runner, and he's dangerous with the ball in his hands. With the ball in his hands, he is the real deal, And so this to me was an impressive victory over a rival team. And you shouldn't have been that much of a surprise because the Vikings, for one, they played tough against the Green Bay Packers. And fair enough, because look, those 2 teams are rivals, right? So of course they're going to play hard. And then the Vikings have fared well against Aaron Rodgers and company as well, since Mike Zimmer has taken the reins. So I wasn't very, very surprised, but it was a thrilling victory. In my opinion, it was the game of the year. I thought it was a really, really exciting game. It was compelling from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And now the Vikings improved to 7-4-1 against their rivals in the last 12 meetings. And then, of course, you have Dalvin Cook, who looked as extraordinary as he usually does. He's an elite level running back. So, I mean, the Vikings are playing really well. They scheme well. They use spacing to manipulate defenses. Cousins hasn't really turned over the football this year. He has taken care of the football, and I think that has, given this team some more life. They're able to breathe a little bit more, and it has, changed the dynamic of this team. And then you talk about the downfield passing, which has been huge for the Vikings as well, because you have Adam Thielen and you have Justin Jefferson, who can run deep routes and make some big plays. So I thought overall they played complimentary football. It was a great victory for them, and we'll see what it'll look like for them moving forward.
Yeah, I just want to ask, because it's kind of funny. A couple weeks ago, I was saying, if the 49ers had Kirk Cousins, they would be in a better position. And then I was getting killed for it. And then, now Kirk Cousins came out here, 24 for 35, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, King Folk Kirk, you invited to the cookout. Greg, obviously you're going to say Kansas City Chiefs. You're banned from talking about the Chiefs for now. Was there any other game that kind of low-key caught you slipping?
Well, it's 2 actually. The Browns only. Okay, well, I'll say the Browns only winning by 3 over Detroit.
That was mine.
Again, that's another, and I keep saying this: is Baker Mayfield really that dude? You have to start asking this question because if they don't make the playoffs, somebody has to get the blame.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be their coach, so it's got to be on.
Yeah,
Baker definitely deserves some of the blame. Like you definitely got to lay. You got to lay a good portion on that on him. You also do got to blame some injuries because unfortunately some key guys didn't really go out. So but Baker does got to wear it. He does got to wear it whether he likes it or not. By the way, I will say this: his wife posted something. I think it was on Instagram or Facebook, like one of those stories or whatever, saying, "Oh my God, Baker Mayfield's so tough. This whole team better learn." Some dumb shit like that. I was like, I started chuckling. I was chuckling because I'm like, we slaughtered Odell because his dad did something like that.
Exactly.
Shorty does it for Baker, and she's and like they're pretending as well. It's just a wife. I'm like, fam, I have not seen this woman at a game at all. Like, we need to put some context around here, dog. Like, we literally. What, 2 weeks ago, we were killing, everyone was killing Odell for that thing. I wasn't killing him because I was like, look, to think that Odell told his dad to do that, I think it's a little extreme. I didn't think he really did that. But then Baker's wife does it. Everyone is like, "Oh my god, what queen?" It's like, no. If we gonna punch Odell's dad in his throat for what he did, now we gotta punt this girl. We gotta punt her down the field, like what her husband was leading to on that field on Sunday. We gotta be punting her because ain't no way we letting this escape by. I just had to get that off my chest because I was
Agreed.
You know what, Pride? Maybe Baker Mayfield should have pursued a career in acting because he's too busy doing progressive commercials and he's not mentally, he's not mentally ready to lead an offense. You know, he played poorly this week. You know, he took more hits. And you know, he came out of the game in the worst physical shape, and then he re-entered the game. So. I mean, you know,
I don't give you a pass on that. And the reason is because you know you're injured, you know your body better than we know it. And if you go back out there, what you're telling me is that you're good enough to re-enter, and that you how you are, you can still perform at an acceptable level.
Right.
Yes.
I was on the Baker Mayfield hype train, but not so much anymore. I mean, this is a guy who's struggling with accuracy. He can't stay healthy. There's a lot of questions right now.
And you got to think about it too, because the indication that you see with the Cleveland Browns as to do they trust him or not. Look at what happened as far as the recent signings. They signed 2 offensive linemen. What that's telling you is that they want to build their offense based upon their offensive line because they know that is the heart of their offense.
Right.
They know that that's what protects their quarterback and also gives them open lanes for their running backs to run through. So, because Nick Chubb is by far one of the most underrated running backs in this league.
Not even close.
Yeah, so he's the package for you. And this is where you kind of think about it of how loaded it is. Honestly, the Browns did not really need OBJ. If you think about it, look at what happened last year when he was hurt. Jarvis Landry got more targets, he got more catches, and they started scoring like 30 to 40 points a game. So they were on a roll. Plus, they were also loaded with Austin Hooper, David Njoku. Now, it may be too much as far as their tight ends are concerned, but they've got other options. Donovan Peoples-Jones. So it's not like Cleveland doesn't have exactly the offensive components to really make them a high-scoring offense. You just got to have the right person who's going to end up, make the plays happen. And Baker is too overwhelmed with it, and I think it's too much pressure upon him. The other part is, I do think it's also, it's pretty selfish of the fact that you are not taking care of your body 110%. I mean, you look at some of these quarterbacks, yes, they've had injuries, but the thing of it is they've also went through the rehabs to get themselves back up onto the field. You have serious injuries that need to be tended to. And it's selfish because of the fact of you're still playing through those injuries, and the last thing you need is you're out for the rest of the season. And Cleveland will not end up taking that. They're going to look at it as, you don't want to take care of your body? We obviously don't trust you. We're going to look for a different quarterback. And just like that, when they signed the offensive line, that was your indication.
Yep, and two things to kind of piggyback off of you. So first of all, because you said they had Nick Chubb, when your backup is Kareem Hunt, a guy who would have been a starter, a guy who not only would he could have been a potential star, we could have potentially been looking at him like a lot of people were hyping up. We could have looked at him like we look at a Nick Chubb. Like he was kind of getting up there, and then he did what he did. He's still very talented. So when you have him as a backup, you're in a good spot. But also to go to the injury point, I mean, it's true. Look, I think Brett Favre got the whole thing as selfish, especially when he went to the Jets. He got hurt. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were 8-3 at the time, and he kept playing. It wasn't because it was the best thing for the team. It's because at the time he had the streak alive. At the time, that's really what he was playing for. He didn't care about the team. He wanted to keep his own personal streak alive. And that's kind of what it really goes to. But here's a good question, and let me ask y'all this. the Lions going to get an actual win this season? I'm going to start with you, Coach.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility they can get an actual win this year. I want to say they get a possible win, but I can't.
More
say
like
it
next
until I
week
see
they
it.
could.
Yeah, but I want to say they could get a pot. They would get one game this year. If they play the New York Jets, which is I think they play, well, I think they will be playing this year. I think that will be they good chance. They good a chance for a victory this year.
So
they don't play the Jets.
Let me read you their
Yeah.
schedule before I ask you a yes or no question.
Okay.
So Thursday they got the Bears.
That's a
If I'm
trap.
not mistaken.
That's a trap game. I think they it's a possibility.
Yeah. And that's in Detroit.
That's a
then
trap
they
game.
host the Vikings in Detroit. Then they go to Denver to play the Broncos.
I don't think they'll beat Denver or the Vikings.
No.
Okay.
No.
So then after the Vikings, they go to Denver to play the Broncos.
That's
then
a loss.
Broncos. This game up here is an automatic loss. There's no debate here. They're playing the Cardinals. That's
no.
Oh, God.
That's a loss.
Time out. Hold on.
That's a beatdown right there. That's self-destruction.
No. We're making the same mistake we made 3 weeks now. We said this for 3 weeks, and then look what happened. I'm not saying that. They have a chance.
Nah.
The 1% chance, but I'm gonna say chance just to cover my behind, right? Then after that, they play the Falcons.
That's a possibility. Yep, that's a possibility. That's a possibility.
And then the last game of the season, the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think they might be able to win that Packers game.
No, you're crazy.
I don't think they will win it. Matter of fact, it just depends on what the Packers are.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Because the last time they played the Green Bay Packers, let me just tell you something. They led 17 at half.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave it all away the second Aaron Rodgers ended up going on a roll and Green Bay was able to take the lead back. I'm not trusting that. That's where I'm just like, Detroit, you tried, you had an opportunity, but you let it get off your hands.
Right. And since then, Green Bay's defense has improved.
The only reason is because depending on how the entire NFC picture plays out, if come the last game of the season, a win or a loss doesn't matter, they're probably going to rush Devontae Adams. They're probably going to rush A.J. Dillon. They're probably going to rest Aaron Rodgers. I expect them to rest like a lot of people. You know,
it depends on what they offer. Their position is too, because it depends on their position. But the Falcons and the Bears are their best two chances. I would give them their best two chances of winning the game this year.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I'm picking them for the rest of the year. I'm picking them. Hold on, Coach. You thought I was lying? Nah, bro. I told you, bro. Last week, I picked them to beat the Browns. I watched the game because I got two monitors.
Yeah, you did pick them.
And listen, I'm picking them to beat the Bears. I'm telling you.
That's what I'm saying. It's a trap.
When it happens, I'm going to be ecstatic. I'm going to be a mess. And then I'm never picking them again. I'm never picking them again. Swear to God. After they get that one win.
Hey, Gooley from Spotlight Sports Network think the Bears are going to lose to the Lions next week.
I mean, honestly, I feel bad for Justin Fields. I really do. This entire season that Justin Fields has been going through with this Chicago stuff has just been nothing but bad. It's just been terrible. They need, just sell the team, McCaskies. The last thing you need is just this excruciating pain you have.
Yeah.
Oh, God, Damian, come on, man.
No, look, I'm telling you.
Like Gooley said that, Damian.
I'm sorry, but I'm telling y'all, I just want to be a part of history. I'm telling you, I want to be a part of history, and I want to be able, when I grow old.
Pride wants his face in the page of the history book.
I mean, hell, we were in this position years ago talking about Cleveland.
Exactly.
We were a part of history when Baker Mayfield gave them the win, and they cracked open the Bud Light.
This is the new generation's Cleveland Browns. Like, when I'm old and I'm on my deathbed, and my son comes up to me and says, "Father, where were you the day those dog shit 2021 guys won their first game?" I'm gonna be like, "Well, sonny, sit down. Daddy's gonna tell you a story, and I want to tell him where I was. I was sitting on this chair in front of this goddamn green screen, screaming my lungs off, bro. I popped a blood vessel in my neck, screaming for Jared Goff to get the win. I mean, if he goes, Dad, what happened after? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. I stopped watching after that. After they got that one win, I ignored him.
God,
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Who's worse? I'm going Browns.
You know what? I'm going 2008 Lions. Rod Marinelli.
Yeah.
Think about how many of the quarterbacks they've had. Dante Culpepper was clearly past himself. And then, it was terrible.
Ran out of bounds with the most memorable play, running out of bounds back in the end zone. Dan Orlovsky ran.
2008 the year Dan Orlovsky ran out the back of the end zone.
Yep. And think about it. That was the year that came the next year in 2009. That's when they selected the #1 overall draft pick out of Georgia, Matthew Stafford, and all of that just ended up changing. Then they go and get Megatron. They thought that they could have the team when it was him, Nate Burleson, Brandon Pettigrew. Like, there were some offensive components, but the line still sucked. The running backs, they went through them like diapers. I mean, you had Kevin Jones, Javid Best, like Jaquib Bell, like.
And Jake, do you remember that people? It was so bad that people in Detroit were literally celebrating.
Yes,
they went winless. That they made history on the negative side.
And and so did Cleveland.
It was so bad.
Cleveland did it so much that, like, Myles Garrett went on Twitter and said, yo, this is embarrassing. This is terrible. Like, we're not celebrating for this shit. Like, we're not.
All right, so before we move on, the Monday night game, the Giants versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my bad. It is going to be in Tampa. Might be seeing Tequila Tom. Actually, no, we're not, because he's mad as shit right now. He's mad. He's furious. They lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I will say this. I do have the Bucs winning. Mm-hmm. The Giants have low-key been a boogeyman in Tom Brady's career. Keep that in context. For some unknown reason, the Giants, it's kind of the same thing with the Vikings. The Giants like getting up for this game. They sweat for this game. This is every time they could beat Tom Brady, even in retirement. Like, Tom Brady could retire and he'll come out when the Patriots retire his jersey, he'll throw a pick, and all of a sudden you will see, like, James Bradbury just come and pick it off and just run. Like, that's just kind of the pettiness that the Giants have when it comes to playing Tom Brady. So I got Tampa Bay, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a 10-point game, like, a touchdown or a field goal. I don't think it's going to be like a dismemberment. I think it's going to be close. Jake, I'm gonna throw it to you. Am I smoking right now?
I honestly do think it's going to be close, because you have to think about the inactives for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski. That may be difficult for Tom Brady, really, but it's not to say he doesn't have other offensive components. Chris Godwin, Cameron Brate, OJ Howard. Yeah, so he's got a bunch of other options that he could utilize. And not to mention, too, for the running back position, because the only thing that I can anticipate is them having to run the football more often. I think it'll be more of a 60-40 type of offense we're going to see for Tampa tonight. And you know, the Giants are such a question mark this year, because it's like, what kind of Giants team are we really going to get? Mm-hmm. You know, and I do like a couple pieces. I mean, I love Blake Martinez. He's a ball hog when it comes to need to give me the football to get the offense back out on the field. And I think Tampa, they're going to try to clean themselves up after losing 2 in a row, because, one, I didn't expect Washington to end up getting a revenge game since the wild card playoffs, but they did. But I think that there are some things that Tampa needs to do better. They need to do right. Now, it's not easy after winning a Super Bowl in the previous year, because you have to think about what they started with, how they ended. This is a little bit different. This is now you're on every team's radar. So they're going to come at you one way or the other. But I think Tampa, they'll seal the deal, but it's not going to be as easy. I do agree with you. I think it's going to be a closer game. I anticipate a 3-point margin. 3-point margin.
And I don't think you're crazy for saying that. I'll be honest with you. Jonathan.
Yeah.
Are you with us or?
I'm here.
No, I'm asking, like, do you agree with us?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's going to be close. I do think the Buccaneers will pull it out, but I think this is going to be very challenging for them. And keep in mind, too, the pesky New York Giants have historically given Tom Brady trouble. So, I mean, there's a lot of history in this game, but the Buccaneers have been in a rut. They haven't looked like themselves. They're missing pieces. And, Tom Brady has been the scapegoat for this team's stumble lately. Brady had one of the worst halves of his career last week to the loss against Washington. So, I mean, Brady hasn't looked like the Tom Brady we are used to seeing. Now, I do think they will beat the Giants, but I do think, like you guys, I think it will be very, very close. And if you want to have any success against the Giants, Tom Brady is there, yes, and he's going to go through the air. But the best way to attack the Giants defense is by running the ball, not through the air, running the ball. And if you're able to run the ball successfully, you have a great chance to win this game. But I'll say that the Bucs will win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I got Tampa winning tonight. If it was at the Giants, I would give the Giants a little bit more of a chance. But at Tampa, Tom Brady's already gonna be ticked off losing the 2 straight. Don't be surprised if this game is over by halftime, just because Tom Brady's going to want to make a statement like, hey, we lost 2 games, straight, but we're still the defending Super Bowl champs. We still feel like we're the best team. So right. I look for Tampa to win big tonight.
And Tom Brady still have other options as well. And here's another thing I want to mention too. I think their coach was a motivator, because you heard what he said last week. I don't know if you guys did, but he called his team a very dumb football team during the press conference following the game. So this is either going to motivate them, or this is going to, not get them fired up. But I think they're going to be fired up, and I think they're definitely going to respond tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Bruce Arians. He gonna keep it above the truth.
Oh yeah.
Or not, he gonna keep it above.
He did that last year against when they were struggling with Tom Brady. He called out Tom Brady through the media. He called out everybody. So and that pretty much woke them up, and they end up winning the Super Bowl. Like I said, again, I think I got Tampa Bay winning this game by 7 points, by at least a touchdown. I think it's gonna be close. And like Jonathan said, the best way to win football games and take pressure off the quarterback is running the football. When you it opens up everything. It opens up play action. It opens up the screen game when you're running the football. So again, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, I expect to see a workload of them going between the tackles, wearing that defensive line down, and then Godwin them succeeding tonight. So I like the Buccaneers in this game. And like I say, speaking of the struggles that we saw, we was talking about, it brings me back a moment last night. I think Jake, I don't know if Jake saw this, but it's so bad in Oakland right now that Damian Lillard don't even want to watch another game. He came out and tweeted, I'm not even watching another game. That's how bad it is in Oakland right now, in Las Vegas.
Well, the thing of it is like when it comes to the Raiders, I mean, let's be honest about it. Outside of Derek Carr, this team is way too inconsistent. I have told Darian and I've told everybody there, like, as a Charger fan, I knew what I was getting out of Gus Bradley. That's why we had to change coaching staffs, because Gus Bradley at times, he does have a real nice scheme and he has a real good format when it comes to defense. But how long of that can he really keep that up until the defense breaks down? Jonathan Abram is not the guy. He's getting burnt. Trayvon Mullen gets burnt. And it's like the only person you can really rely on is Casey Hayward. That's it. Like I told people, Casey Hayward, like him or hate him, he is a lockdown corner. Like he is shut down where he is. He can play. That's why I was bummed out because the fact that we let him go. We never were able to take a pay cut to at least keep him on the roster and then go ahead and get Asante Samuel Jr. But what you see is what you're going to get. But the Raiders don't have a number one wide receiver. They don't have anybody that's capable. And now he's going to be serving time behind bars. The other part of it is like there's no discipline in this team. Like, think back to the 2015 Raiders when they had Jack Del Rio. Del Rio is a guy that puts his boot down. As a former defensive linebacker and as someone who had led the Jaguars into the playoffs several times, like he knows what he's doing. It's unfortunate Derek Carr had the apparent injury and in came Connor Cook. But if Derek Carr's healthy, they can lead that offense. Derek Carr is putting the most consistent numbers in the last 2 seasons. Like, get off him. It's not his fault. He's not really the reason that the Raiders are playing the way that they are. Now, does he take some of the blame? Yes, because there are times, that's why any given Sunday is always a reference term, because you may come out one Sunday and go lights out one week, and then you'll come out and drop a dud. Like they dropped the dud against the Giants. Like that's one that anything could really happen. So that's why the Raiders this year, outside of Derek Carr, are so inconsistent.
Yeah, I made this joke, and I said this. I said this, and it was a joke, but like I'm not starting to believe it. Let's leak this new coach's emails. You know what I mean? Like, let's leak his emails so that way they can get fired up or something. Because, like, I'll be honest with you, to me, they look uninspired. They look like the energy and the emotion and all that stuff is gone. So it's like,
but Pride,
they need a controversy to like get up nowadays. Like the game itself doesn't get them up. They just need something extra.
Yeah.
But Pride, I'm really surprised they've been able to remain somewhat competitive. Considering what they've dealt with this year, you talk about all the off-field, controversies and things that they've dealt with, like the coach getting fired over his emails. Then you had Henry Ruggs, the second getting busted for a DUI, killing someone, killing a girl and her dog. I mean,
Damon Arnett ended up posting up on the internet with showing off his gun. Like that was dumb.
That's the dumbest thing you can.
And he's not even a proven corner.
Right. Exactly. Like you're doing it before people even know you're like, bro, you're walking through the hall and security's still asking who you are. And all of a sudden you made it? Like, come on, son.
There's just been so many distractions surrounding this Raiders team. And like Pride said, they look very uninspired. I mean, the defense hasn't played decent. And it's up and down. You don't know what you're gonna get from the Raiders,
And the question of it is, why did the Raiders move to Vegas? Did you move to Vegas because you wanted a fresh new start? You wanted to end up having more money in the cap to end up bringing in bigger, better players, not to mention shaping up your roster through the draft? Isn't that what the whole plan was all about? It doesn't even seem like they have one.
That's what we were told. That supposedly was the reason that they went. I'll tell you right now, I don't think it was that. I think they were just sick and tired of not having, you know what I mean? Like, how like when you go like Minnesota, right? It's all the team Minnesota. It's all them. I think that's what the Raiders wanted. You know what I mean? On top of that, you're going to Vegas. It's glitzy. It's nice. You know what I mean? Like that's
there were a couple of questions to touch upon here. Like they said, what do you think that the Seahawks should do next season from this bad season? I'm going to tell you right now, and this has been my hot take. Russell Wilson will not be a Seattle Seahawk in 2022.
And I do not believe you saying that.
I said the same thing.
Because here's the thing. He wanted out after last year. They went, 12-4?
And not to mention getting sacked 6 times against the Rams with a horrific offense.
Right.
And Pete Carroll will retire.
Yeah, so
this is over.
Pete Carroll's not retiring. He's not going to retire. I don't think so.
No. They're breaking up this Seahawks.
Oh, you're talking about Seattle's
I mean, it's outdated. It's not.
If they're going to do a full rebuild, you might as well. Because Pete Carroll will find another job like that.
Because this is what I've always said about the Seattle Seahawks, and which is why I made the take that I said. Because first of all, When was the last time that the Seattle Seahawks ever had a successful quarterback? Matt Hasselbeck? Rick Meyer was only as good as he could possibly get, but he was terrible.
Yeah, they had Matt Flynn for that one game.
They did. And yeah, and then Rick Meyer was only as best as you could possibly get him, but he was still terrible. Dave Krieg, he only had Steve Largent there for him, so that was the only point. But they've never had a successful quarterback, so when Russell Wilson leaves, they will be back to being the most irrelevant franchise in the league again. They will be. Because,
and like I said, and to piggyback off your point, Jake, last year they went 12-4, and Russ was on the verge of still boring out.
Oh yeah.
Imagine going under 500. He's gonna want to end up staying. Like for me, I do believe he'll end up staying. I do believe that, but based on how everything is going with every passing week, Russ just looks more and more and more tired. And not tired from the football standpoint, tired just from I don't want to be here. It's almost as if he just wants to go anywhere, but he wants to play anywhere. He'd rather go play for the Houston Texans than for Seattle. And I just feel like their time, their course, it just ran out. And this is the part of the story where they go their separate ways.
But the problem of it is, though, too, is that they've listened to the wrong voices in the last span that Russell Wilson since his rookie season. First of all, Richard Sherman, he was only as good as he can get, but he's no longer the same corner as he was years ago during the Legion of Boom.
And it was his own corner. Let's call it what it was.
He was his own corner. I mean, you had him, Byron Maxwell, Earl Thomas, and of course Cam Chancellor. That was a great secondary backfield. But that's no more. That backfield got tore up. There's no KJ Wright anymore, so you're relying heavily on Bobby Wagner to being your leader in that defense. But he's only got a couple more years until he's done in the league. So this is why that I say that this is completely outdated. They need something new, but they relied so heavily on that they've totally forgot who exactly is their real franchise, and that's Russell Wilson. Everything lives and breathes through him. So protect him. Give him offensive weapons. Give him a reason he wants to stay. But Seattle, they didn't.
Wants to stay. So
he's out. And the thing is, by the time they're going to do it, it's going to be too late. By the time they're going to want to do it, Russ is going to be so fed up, he wants out. Another question.
Yeah, he complained about the
Broncos are not going to draft a quarterback. He complained about I promise you, they're not going to draft him.
No. They're asking, should they? Now, I believe they should not. And
I don't think so.
And this is why I'm saying that. This draft class, in terms of quarterback.
No, I think John Elway's going to go for a season.
It's going to reach. Listen, there's three teams I think is going to reach. Houston Texans, the Detroit Lions, and obviously the Denver Broncos, because John Elway always reaches.
Always does.
I think that's the key. Me personally, listen, Spencer Rattler got benched. All the hype around him has supposedly died. The dude's still going to be a first-round pick. Let that sink in. He has been exposed to the point where
he's been benched all season.
Yeah, he's been.
Yeah, he's been benched all season. And let me tell you this, because I feel like if they had drafted a quarterback and they were doing a reach pick, which they usually do, I feel like their reach pick would probably be Casey Thompson from Texas. But
my thing is, Spencer Rattler has been exposed.
Yes.
He's not playing, and they're still trying to build him up as a number one, not number one pick, but a first round pick.
Yeah, no.
So if a dude who got benched, because I don't want to be mean, but I'm gonna have to say it. The dude is dog shit, got benched. In what world are we then gonna tell him, you know what, kid, you're ready to go up to the next level? That is the equivalent of a kid getting a D- in high school. You look at him and go, you know what? You got something special, you kid. You got a full-ride scholarship at UCLA, who Jonathan put on Facebook is leading the country in education. Yeah. Look at your full-ride scholarship to there. And let's make it worse. You gonna major in two things. You gonna get your lawyer's degree, and you know what? Be a rocket scientist, why won't you? Like, what are we doing here? Like, the kid is not good to sit here and pretend, oh yeah, let's put him up there. It's ridiculous. I've said this from the jump. No offensive player should be reached here. Not one.
And it's part of the reason why that the
Only
transfer
people-
portal was even made. Because think about it, Jalen Hurts, the fact that, Tua Tagovailoa ended up taking that quarterback job at Alabama, and Jalen Hurts ended up transferring to Oklahoma to go and join with Lincoln Riley and his offense. That's why Jalen Hurts is where he is right now in the NFL. I feel like if Rattler is in the same position, transfer out, go somewhere that that you can build your best potential, even if it means, even if you transfer to Florida. If you transfer to Florida
because at the end of the day, he needs to be able to rebuild his thing. And the thing is, I'm gonna tell you right now, offensively, the only teams that should draft offensively are the top tier teams. The teams that could wait a few years to develop you, to put you in the best, like teams that have time, like legit time on the clock. You can go ahead and get an offensive player. If you're Detroit, if you're Houston, if you need them to be solid right now and develop. I'm telling you this right now. This draft, I'm telling you, will show us who knows what they're doing and who's not. Because I swear to God, if Spencer Rattler goes out in the first round, matter of fact, if he gets drafted, period, I'm telling you right now, my fat ass is signing up for community college because then I have a shot. And I throw the football like I'm Stephen Hawking. I run and try, and mentally I'm an idiot. I struggle with Madden on rookie. And if Spencer Rattler has a chance, by God, I will be a number 1 pick doing no work, bro. Like Jamarcus Russell is better than me. Bro. And if I think this draft, that tells you something, bro. So offensively, but again, my fear, we all agree here, John Elway just gonna reach.
And this is what's funny. This is what's funny about Denver, because let's be totally honest. We're going to dig in a little bit deeper into this wound. The last quarterback that they groomed up through the draft, that they built up to be a superstar quarterback, is John Elway himself. Outside of all that, they never trust young quarterbacks. They never have. That's why they got Brian Greasy. That's why they got Jake Plummer. That's why they got Kyle Orton and a lot of these older quarterbacks. Since Peyton Manning retired, Trevor Siemian, not great. Drew Glock, not great. Like, they don't have great quarterbacks. That's why they went and get Case Keenum. That's why they ended up getting all these older veteran quarterbacks. So that's why they don't draft. But I'll tell you this. This is why they pushed to going and getting Deshaun Watson. That's why they're pushing to try to get Russell Wilson also. Because here's the thing. If you're Denver, I don't want to face Patrick Mahomes twice a year. I don't want to face Justin Herbert twice a year. Neither do I want to face Derek Carr twice a year. So you'll be stuck being the 4th best quarterback in that division. That's why I'm like, they're not going to draft.
It'll get you some wins. And this is what I'm saying. If you're Denver, I keep Teddy Bridgewater. Wait till next year. Yes. Are you guys going to win? No. If you guys can go get a big name quarterback, go ahead.
Teddy's never had a chance, dude. He's never had. And I feel,
I feel bad for Teddy. He actually is a pretty deep, okay quarterback, man.
Yeah, ever since he got that concussion and he came back and everyone was like, you know what, we're going to rob the Case Keenum. When I saw that, and I said it before, I was like, he's never going to be looked at the same.
That's John Elway's disposition. It always has been. He's one of those general managers that go for the seasoned veteran, the guy that's already been groomed, been in the league for some time. So he did it with Peyton Manning. Now he's going to go out and get another one, and we'll see who it is. We'll have to wait and see who it is. Is it going to be Russell Wilson? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? You know, this is a guy still in the middle of legal trouble, so we have to see how that all plays out as well. But if I'm choosing a safe bet, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson being the next quarterback in Denver.
And let's not forget, John Elway, he's going to try his hardest to beg Aaron Rodgers to come to Denver. He's going to beg. He's going to beg.
You know what? No. You know what? You know what? There's one team that I'm telling you right now, and it ain't even just John Elway trying to beg for Aaron Rodgers to come. But Aaron Rodgers, you know who's the person that he spoke the most out of, and I actually do believe it? Mike Tomlin of Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I think Pittsburgh may be in a running to get Aaron Rodgers there.
He is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'll put my money on that. Actually.
You don't talk that much about a veteran coach that like he's so successful that like he's done that all in the press conferences. That's why Green Bay is like feeling like, yo, we're getting punched in the face because it's like you're talking more about him than Matt LaFleur.
Right.
He's about to
So
replace
real quick,
Ben
Dante,
Roethlisberger.
Coach, let me ask you something. Do you
I
think the
think so.
Colts? You think the Colts make the playoffs?
Yes, I think they make the playoffs. They had a statement win yesterday against the Buffalo Bills. Jonathan Taylor, man, outside of Derrick Henry,
Jonathan
is the best.
freaking Taylor.
He's the best running back in the league to me right now.
I'm
Five
saying
touchdowns on this supposed to be Buffalo Bills. Pretty decent, good defense, and this Russian defense. That man is impressive. I've been watching that man since Wisconsin, man. This guy is a fucking beast, man. So
And the
right
funny
now,
thing,
Jonathan Taylor is the best running
Hey,
back in the
Coach.
game by far. He's the best running back in the game right now.
yeah.
Coach, Jonathan Taylor was always my guy. He has the same name as me.
Oh God!
I
And
will say
the
one
funny
thing.
the funny thing of it is we haven't seen this big of a performance out of a Colts running back since Edgerrin James and Joseph Adai. That speaks a lot of volumes about how the Colts are. But honestly, keep an eye on them. They're going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to make their money's worth on trying to shoot for the AFC Championship game. Because if you actually look at what's happening right now with the Colts, they are getting healthier at the right time.
Yes.
That's why the first 5 weeks was going to be rocky for them because of how Carson Wentz was adjusting to this offense, how the offensive line was a little bit banged up, including Quentin Nelson, and then, of course, some offensive components and defensive components. Now everybody is getting healthy. So watch out, Titans, in that division. Watch out for the rest of the AFC because now I'm kind of pulling the brakes on Buffalo. You can't possibly be the team. Yeah, because you can't. Vegas has you 5-1 to winning a Super Bowl. That's a huge pressure on your shoulders. And I don't think Buffalo really is. Yeah.
Nah, and I'll say this right now. And right now, Buffalo would have a way better record.
Yes.
If they did one thing and one thing only. Run the fucking ball. That's it.
They believe in Josh Allen too much.
And
that's another one that's
Allen.
He's not the dude.
Allen, but we killed the Ravens for just running the ball.
He's not consistent.
The Bills are like the bizarro version of them. They just throw, and you have Devin Singletary and Zach Moore. You got two capable running backs. Yeah. So it's like I don't get it. I really don't. And hopefully they can get it together. But nah, I'm with you, Jake. If we're gonna have to cool off on that whole thing. But let's move on to the NBA recap. So yesterday, Clippers beat the Mavericks 77-91. Lakers beat the Pistons. Don't worry, we'll get there. The Bulls beat the Knicks 109-103 in their revenge game. Suns handled their business against the Nuggets, and the Warriors got a double-digit win against the Raptors. So let's start off by first and foremost. I just want to open up the topic with this just quick. It's nothing too crazy. Isaiah Stewart, you're a moron, and you would have gotten beaten the bricks off of, and we would have seen a live murder and a live stomp on TV. If Isaiah Stewart, you wanted the smoke, and because I'm telling you, I see a lot of people go, "Oh my God, the Isaiah Stewart, he wanted the smoke." No, he didn't, because he had the opportunity to swing, and he was just like, that's what he doing with his bench, and all of a sudden it was like, "Let me go get him. Let me go get him." I'm like, bro, homeboy running like I'm playing Call of Duty Zombies, G. Like he's speeding like I'm like, listen, bro, once you get there, hear me. If LeBron is gonna put paws on you, AD gonna beat the mess out you. Russ probably gonna shoot you if we finna be honest. We don't know Dwight dirty, so he'll stop on you for he's a haha. And DeAndre Jordan low-key dirty. He'll try to hold you back while choking you. He'll have your rear naked choke talk about calm down. Like, you're really trying to mess with these dudes. And listen, bro, I said this before. No one believes me. I'm telling you, Coach Fitz on that bench, he a fighter. I'm telling you, he put paws on people. You said LeBron and bitch had to hide behind people. So let me ask you a question. Why didn't Isaiah Stewart swing right then and there? That's my question. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing with Jimmy Butler. Same thing about Jimmy Butler. You're waiting for all this rah-rah afterwards. Now, if you're not going to fight, that's fine. Don't pretend. Don't waste my time.
Right.
Don't hold the game up trying to run, knowing damn well your weak self is not running through what 10, 15 people.
Yeah.
And this is how you know you stupid. This game, and for context, this game was in Detroit. And fans laughing at you, fam. This dude out there talking about, oh, I'm tough, bro. Malice in the palace. And you got kids laughing like, LOL, what an idiot. Like,
God.
So, Damien, can you call Isaiah Stewart a B too, because he had this opportunity to swing when LeBron immediately tried to apologize to him. He had this opportunity to do it right there, and he didn't do it. Now you want to go run over Dwayne Casey. Try to run over Dwayne Casey just to get to LeBron James. This man literally tried to run over his head coach, raced over his head coach just to try to get to LeBron James. So,
listen,
I believe if Stewart would have got there, LeBron James, it would have been if he would have got his face, LeBron James would have put something.
Look, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, guys. I hate that people push the narrative that LeBron is the 5-letter word, okay? Because LeBron just stays above the fray. Okay, he doesn't really get into confrontation with people.
He never does.
But he had his brothers behind him. His brothers were ready to go to war for him. You saw it yesterday.
But he complains too much with the referees.
Look. Russell Westbrook was saying, "Let's catch these hands." There's memes floating around the internet showing him putting up his hands.
Right there. He ready to go.
He was ready.
Like, I'll be honestly, bro. Like, come on, like, you really calling this a fight? Look, if you watch the play, first of all, Isaiah Stewart.
That wasn't a play. He should have been kicked out the game for that.
It was inadvertently. I mean, he didn't really swing his elbow.
But Isaiah Stewart is hooking LeBron, and LeBron's like, "Get the fuck off me."
Yeah,
right.
That is a play you see every single time dudes go to the free throw. This is not the first time you've seen that play. Draymond does it all the time. Boogie Cousins did it all the time. Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, Melo does it. Ross did it when he was on OKC, and they would put him in the insides and get his rebounds. He did it.
Yep.
There have been times they put Damian Lillard on the block just so he can get the ball so he can push up. He's done it.
Yep.
It was an accident, and immediately LeBron was like, "Oh, my bad." Immediately.
Yeah. Well, today Isaiah Stewart is a folk. Isaiah Stewart today is a folk hero to all the LeBron haters out there, but he didn't really do anything.
No,
this was just a guy, personifying something. Okay, that's all it was. I mean, this was a man trying to act tough.
Honestly, like we've all seen the movie White Man Can't Jump. They're making a mockery out of that damn movie, man. Like, come on. Here's the thing. This is why I'm like, I don't have a particular NBA team. I will just note this right now, but I've always been a player fan. But the problem of it is why I hardly pay attention to the NBA is because of shit like this. Because when I was growing up as a kid, you had to be tough. You had to have thick skin. If you got an elbow to the face, or if you're just socking somebody, like, say it with your chest. Yeah. Go and dunk off me. Like, defenders are telling you, dunk off me. Like,
did you grow up in the 90s, Jake?
Hell yeah, I'm a 95 baby.
Okay.
And listen, like, growing up as a kid, I had a Laker uniform. I loved Kobe, God rest his soul. But that was who I grew up watching. And I grew up watching Michael Jordan and a lot of them. Like, I was actually, believe it or not, I was born the day Michael Jordan played his first game after day before he said, "I am back." I was born that day, March 19th, 1995. Yep.
And people do that move all the time. That little move when LeBron James try to really get his hands up off him and he accidentally swiped them hard. People do that move all the time on a rebound when they fight to get in position. That man immediately tried to apologize to that dude, and then that dude just want to run all over the coaching staffs and all that.
Yeah, and for those who know LeBron, they know that he's not a dirty player.
Yeah.
Let me address this. Hold on. Let me address this.
He never had the intent to injure anyone. So.
Right. Let me address this. Let me address this.
It's crazy.
If LeBron elbowed me in the face, first and foremost, I'm asleep. I'm in a coma. I'm meeting God. Me and God, we're having lunch, and he's explaining to me all the where I messed up in my life.
He didn't elbow him. He swiped him in the face. That's
Yeah,
not
he's
swiped him.
yeah,
Come on,
he's
Damien.
come on,
He
Damien.
swiped him in the face. That's not an elbow.
Let's just say he elbowed him for the sake of this argument. Immediately, you're not putting context because immediately after LeBron was like, "My bad." It's not like where Serge Ibaka did not a Meta War Peace did a James Harden where he made that bucket and he threw that elbow like that.
Well, I would have been in the hospital at that point. I would have been in the hospital
different.
at that point.
You know that's intentional because there's no way you don't feel your elbow hit something. There's no way you don't feel that. LeBron did it and he immediately looked back and he was trying to say my bad and the kid was like, "Oh, you want to fight? Like, look here, kid. First of all, you want to
fight?
Yeah, bro. He was like, bro, he was like, oh, my mama, you know what I do? No, apparently not because you played 19 minutes and didn't have 6 points. So apparently you get paid to do you're not good at. If we don't care about.
He's a second-year player who people barely know. He's a second-year player who people barely know. And LeBron, if LeBron really wanted to fight him, LeBron would have beat him down to the ground. Okay, this man would have been laying out on the ground by the time.
Just think about how
he
bad.
would have learned the lesson, and LeBron would have kindly told him, "Welcome to the NBA."
Just think about how bad LeBron rarely probably swiped him hard and all that blood coming out. Don't you think if LeBron would have elbowed that dude intentionally, that dude would have been in the hospital right now? He would have still probably been in the hospital right now. Come on, Damien.
It didn't warrant an ejection. I will say that too. I think the NBA was a little bit harsh to
that wasn't intentional. That shouldn't have been. He should have been kicked out.
It was inadvertently, and I'm very, very surprised that the NBA ejected the face of the NBA. I'm very surprised because at the end of the day, most of those people showed up to Little Caesars Arena to see LeBron anyway because you saw a lot of purple and gold in the stands. No one came there to watch the Detroit Pistons. Detroit were playing from the 80s.
Ain't nobody had the energy since the Isaiah Thomas years, the Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups years. Like, ain't nobody had energy in that building in a while. Like,
exactly.
Hold on.
And
no, we ain't kissing his ass, Damien.
He's making excuses for him.
Hold on, Brian.
Hold on. Y'all making excuses for LeBron. I don't get why everyone has to kiss LeBron's ass every time he does something. They defend him. I just don't get it.
Everyone is following his every move.
I got this one.
Yeah.
The part that you don't get is your own stupidity. That's the part you don't get. Because if it's an accident, and again, we're telling you, this happens literally every single game. Every single game. So to be like, oh yeah, Braun did it on purpose, you're an idiot. And two, this is my problem with Isaiah Stewart. You want all this rah-rah energy after you go to the bench. Mm-hmm. If you were that mad, why don't you? We said the same thing about Jimmy Butler. Don't fake all this rah-rah nonsense on the bench. Because when y'all get to the bench, it's done with. It's over. Yeah. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, Pride.
I need to move on. Go ahead.
Hey, Pride. I look, guys. I am the biggest Bron hater you probably ever gonna see. All right. He's not better than Jordan. It's look. The Bron hate is deep for me. But even so, what happened last night was not on purpose. I saw that at first. I was like, hold on, did he do that? And then I had to watch it about 4 times. Oh no, he didn't. So I think a lot of the times, especially the NBA now, the league is so soft. Back in the day, that's a baby hit. Yeah, that's a baby hit back in the day.
It wouldn't even be nothing.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go, oh, back in the day. I'm not going to say things like that.
It's true, though.
No, I'm saying.
I know it's true.
I would watch the Knicks and the Heat fight for less than that. Fight for less than that.
No, you guys are right.
This league is softer than melted ice cream, man.
No, I was right. Back then, it was a league where you could literally choke someone and it was a college foul.
Yeah, man, did you see the way Kevin McHale clothesline Kurt Rambis? Back in that time.
And they didn't even blow the whistle for petty fouls.
I mean, think about it.
Afterwards, they were like, "Oh wow, he low-key hurt."
It's like, think about it. Did we not watch The Last Dance as to how many times that like you had to get elbows socked in the face or probably get a gut check just to get a basket?
Michael Jordan got socked in the face so many times by the Detroit Pistons. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even take a little swipe in the face and stuff like that.
He took some hard hits from Vernon Maxwell too, believe it or not. John Starks too. Him and John Starks used to go at it all the time.
You said it was not a swipe to the face. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm giving you a point. It was an elbow. First of all, I'm convinced you did not see the play. I'm convinced.
No, he didn't see it. He didn't see it.
Listen, Pride. This, all right, let me just tell you right now, this apple right here did not fall very far from the tree. And we know this from Damian so many times. Coach Dante and I know this so many times when he comes up into the chat lines. So that's a rotten apple right there. That's what we've been around.
He's one of the people that if LeBron passes gas because it doesn't smell like roses, we got to blackball him from the league. If LeBron tries to shoot a different way, we gotta crucify him. You know what I mean? And look, like I said, it was a freak accident. I'm not gonna call Bron dirty,
right?
But at the same time, Isaiah Stewart, if you really want to scrap,
no, he's not dirty.
No,
and that's just my thing. If you really want to scrap,
if you really want to throw down, then
handle your business.
Yep.
Don't wait till you go to the side because, like I said, once everyone goes to the bench, it's over. Now y'all need to move on because now when you're re-instigating it, you know what that tells me? You're waiting for people to get in the way. You're waiting for security to get on the floor, and you're waiting for that so that way you can make this false statement. Oh, I'm a charge. And you're not people will hold you back.
You're doing it for clout. You're doing it for and attention, and you want to act like a tough guy that you really not.
It's unfortunate because this is exactly how society's been ran. Like, there's not too many people that actually want to be up straight and forward with people. They much rather be turning it around when they walk away. That's why they're like, in society, we have the masses of backstabbers, man, because the thing of it is, you say something, I'm coming at you and say it to my face one more time. And I guarantee you, they all shrivel up and they ouch, because they're afraid. Like, I called you out.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yep, that's right.
Damien, I'm doing me a favor, Damien. Go watch the play.
Isaiah Stewart had a chance to get a good lick on LeBron.
That's what I'm saying.
He had the perfect opportunity. As soon as he did, LeBron James was trying to apologize to him. He had the perfect opportunity. They were right there, face to face.
Separated by your coaching staff and your teammates. There you go. Oh, come at me, bro. Come at me. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, bro.
That's like a lot of
I'll tell you a story here. This is actually pretty similar. Now, obviously, there was not this involved with LeBron, but like, I play adult softball, and I remember playing up in Mesquite. I live here in Vegas, born and raised here my whole life. And when we're playing up in Mesquite, everybody that's a diehard Nevadan, they know everybody that's all there. We had a Utah team, I kid you not. This pitcher mouthing off several times, like he's talking his shit. And so we're just like, okay, you want to show us up because you're complaining, dude, because you're throwing an outside pitch that you know comes back to where it came from. Then okay, then you know, and so he's talking all this. Then he wants to fight, and then this is how bad it got. This is where I never took it seriously, was because you have someone's wife who comes out into the middle of the pile and calls one of our guys out and says, "What are you gonna do, skinny boy?" And mind you, my buddy is Hawaiian, and they have triggers. You do not mess with an island fam, because they will get down dirty. And then you got this guy. This is how I can see this with Isaiah, is that this guy was literally over here on the fence, and he's talking all this shit, and he's like all rambling up, like, dude, you're looking like a fool. You're not going to come up over here and throw shade at us, because I promise you, you mess with Dogtown, you mess with the entire fam. Like, that's what my team was. Like, that's all are fighters. Like,
brotherhood.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
And again, this is my overall point. Ricky, you nailed it on the head. He had time, didn't do it, waited for people to come up, then did it for clout. Yo, bro, you want to get clout? You a ball player. Give me more than 4 points in 19 minutes. Maybe then you'll get some clout. Maybe then people respect you.
Right.
Like, let's just call it what it is, bro. Let's call it what it is. No, and Mike, he not listen. I think this dude was on crack. He on
crack.
No, let's keep it a buck, bro. Do no stupidity because ain't no way you have.
No, he's on Tide Pods. We're past crack. Yeah, okay. He's on Tide Pods.
We going back. And listen, I'm having the same energy I had for Jimmy Butler. Do not sit there and tell me you had the opportunity to do something and you wait to get to the bench to get rowdy.
Yeah.
You had your opportunity to get into your cute little scuffle, whatever the case may be. Go up. He probably gonna hug LeBron, probably kiss him. Oh, I'm sorry, bro, but I gotta look tough, whatever. And then you go to the bench, and mind you, I didn't even want to watch this game. Let's call it what it was. I didn't even give a shit about this game. I tuned in because I was like, hey, yo, hold on, Pistons winning. Ooh, so I'm on there. He said, "Oh, y'all on crack." It's kind of funny if five people here say the same thing, and 3 more people in the comments say the same thing.
In the comments,
if 8 people are saying the same thing, and you're the only man who's wrong.
Rightfully so.
Right.
I mean, listen, look.
I
don't want to say.
I'm just talking about the context of it. The point that you were in his face and you could have done something. Then you go to the bench and then all this energy comes out. That's kind of maybe I am on crack. They mind your business.
Right. But here's the difference though. You look at Mike Hughes' face and you look at Damian's face. Damian's got no chance. You look at that face right there. Okay? I'm sorry, Damian, but look, man, I have to be the one to put you up into your place, respectfully. Okay.
No. Yo, you know what it is? You look, man. I said it. I'm gonna say it again, bro. People don't understand. It's number one. It wasn't a dirty play. It wasn't because, like I said, this always happens. It was an accident. Bron tried to apologize immediately afterward, and I'm gonna say this: if you wanted to fight him, you would have done it right.
Yeah, LeBron was trying to act all cool about it, and this dude was the aggressor and took it all personal.
Mike.
And made it worse than what it was. I mean, made the situation worse. It didn't escalate. It didn't have to escalate to that point.
No, it didn't.
I know what the comment was. I know.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it should not have escalated.
It should not.
He escalated it basically because I'm gonna say this right now.
But when you have someone that try to act tough,
no. LeBron, I'm gonna say what bothered him. When he saw LeBron just chilling, he was just like,
yeah, exactly.
He got so offended by that because they really thought he put the fear of somebody in something. When you're seeing some of your own dudes on the bench looking at you like that, the fans are laughing at you. The Lakers bench is like, what is this man doing? And the man that you thought you scared, the one who you thought shaking, stand there like, beautiful day. The AC's on a little too much. Maybe they got a little bit down. When you see that, bro, and I'm gonna say this right now. Russia later, but
Russell Westbrook is ready to step into the ring.
I'm gonna say this right now, and I mean this. And Coach, Jonathan, Grant, I'm pretty sure you know as well. I am not a fan of Russell Westbrook being on the Lakers.
I'm not either.
I agree.
I mean, he don't fit. He don't fit with the Lakers. He doesn't fit.
If Russ goes and lays him out, I'm flipping. Lakers don't trade him. They need to keep him in the starting lineup. They need to build the team around him. I'm flipping so fast.
Oh, are you justifying that you have to beat up a guy to earn your spot on the roster?
No.
Is that what we're here to do?
Maybe. Hold on, yeah, because it's versatility.
Listen, he'll shoot more shots throwing shade than he does actually shooting from 3-point line. Let's be honest here.
That might be the
I think that might be the percentage.
He said so. LeBron was scared.
He was not scared.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. say this right now.
He just knows how to
Hey,
keep
Jay, right now,
He just knows how to keep
that
his
man
cool,
Damien
that's
just
all.
speaking out of his ass. He just
I
got
just
this
told
right
I
now.
told you. I
He
know
just
how
knows how to
this,
keep his
this,
cool.
this is
LeBron is
demented.
not
This
gonna
is
Yes.
demented
someone
Damien
else's
at
level.
his
Yo, he do that to everybody, Chad. He do that to all of us.
Yo,
He do
at
that
the
to all of us.
end of the day, I'm gonna say this right now. At the end of the day,
But
Bron,
Mike Hughes, I couldn't with the green light, bro. Now you're speaking Squid Game shit right now. When you just ended up saying
Jay, hold on. Last time he said that, I was like, from now on, I'm referring it to Squid Game. I don't know if it got into anybody yet. I said it, and I was like, yo, that's when you gotta crackle your brain, let it fertilize your brain a little bit, so that way, that way it can hit you or whatever. But
Right.
I'm telling you, Squid Games is not green light. That's not, when I say Squid Games, that's what I mean. But enough about this. Because I'm telling you this right now, bro. I'm talking to Damien is like talking to a wall.
It really oh, fucking asshole. There he is.
It really is. Red light.
So you know what that means, right, Damien? That means stop.
Yeah, stop. Do not. No.
I hate to say this, but I feel like he'll be the dude that literally will only move an inch of his toe right up over there. Dude.
No. You know what Damien is? I'm gonna tell you what he is. He's the dude who'll see red light and go, no, that's not true, and take a step again. Boom, done.
There's no red light on D.
Yeah. But for the NBA today, we got the Hornets playing the Wizards, Nets and Cavs, Thunders and Hawks. The Rockets will play the Celtics. Better put pause on y'all. Timberwolves will play the Pelicans. Pacers will play the Bulls. Magic play the Bucks. Suns and Spurs. Sixers and Kings. Grizzlies and Jazz. And obviously, coach's favorite team, the Portland Trailblazers, will get a night off. So the $1 million question: with all those games I mentioned, who do you think is going to be the game to watch?
Ooh,
Don't know and don't care.
you know what?
Well, that Nets Cavs game could
actually know what? I'm gonna throw this out there.
Grizzlies
Jazz, because Grizzlies Jazz, and the only reason that I say that is because we just love watching John Morant all the time.
Yes.
We love watching what John Morant loves to do. Now, the Jazz, on the other hand, because they really do have a decent squad. The only thing that they need to fulfill is having a defensive winger. That's all they need. If you get somebody that defends the wing, that is not going to allow any points from behind the arc, the Jazz would be the better team in the West. But I'd like to see this game because I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be jam-packed, and we'll see the best of what John Morant can do. Because let's just say this: if the Grizzlies do come away with the win against the Jazz, it will all because John Morant spreading the ball all over the floor.
Yeah,
John Morant, I agree. John Morant is definitely box office.
Yes.
He is so exciting to watch. And, we talk about who's going to be the next new face of the NBA. He could be that guy with the way he's playing, and I mean, he's just an explosive player. Yep. He makes everyone around him better. He has really elevated that Memphis Grizzlies team. Yep. And if I'm a Memphis fan, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm enjoying his success as well as he continues to get better. And he can only get better. There's room for improvement. And this is a guy who's not really in his prime just yet. So you could just see and almost envision what he's gonna do in the next couple of years in the NBA. And it's gonna be scary because he is so scary good to watch.
Yeah, I got Wizards and Hornets. I got Hornets going to the Wizards. I'm gonna be paying attention to that game. That's a 6:00 start. Mm-hmm. Two very good teams that's gonna be in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference, probably between that 5th through 6th seed. The Hornets are very good team. Young pieces. Miles Bridges is a dog. We already know about LaMelo Ball, who makes everybody better. Points, assists, can pretty much do it all. Dribbling. The Martin twin on the team. I think Caleb Martin, a pretty decent young head coach. And we all know about the Washington Wizards. Kyle Kuzma took his career on another level with Washington averaging a double-double per game. This is probably one of the best spread out teams that probably Bradley Beal will have. besides John Wall because, again, he got a bunch of shooters on this team. He got to revive Montrezl Harrell, Holiday, Spencer Dinwiddie. So this is a good game for me that I think I'm going to pay heavily attention to.
Don't forget, he got Montrezl Harrell and
Montrezl Harrell. Yep.
Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma, who's adding a double-double.
The Wizards are winning on so many levels because they won this offseason, and now they're winning in the regular season.
Yep, they won this offseason. They definitely won the Russell Westbrook trade. They definitely won that.
They definitely won
right now.
Trade.
I just want to say one thing. I mean, in terms of winning that Russell Westbrook trade,
Russell Westbrook better step up, or he's gonna get more popcorn dumped on him. And you know, I don't think any player deserves to ever be insulted. But
I will say this though, everyone's saying how Kyle Kuzma is having a career year. It's adorable, 13 points, career high, which is impressive. So you look at his field goal percentage, career low, but that's none of my business. I don't know why I'm talking. Why am I being mean to Kyle Kuzma? Oh yeah, because he's dog shit. In terms of the games I want to watch,
he's getting better.
Grizzlies.
Kyle Kuzma's getting better since he left the Lakers. He's been able to maximize his talent. I told you that the other day, bro.
He's maximizing his talent. He's maximizing it by being worse.
We can respectfully disagree to agree. Agree to disagree. I had it back.
Ben Simmons shouldn't even just get traded. He should just stop playing, period. Ben Simmons should just stop playing, period.
I agree. If he's not willing to refine his shot and get better.
This is the same man that literally had to go to a sports psychologist to encourage him to shoot. He literally had to go to a sports psychologist to encourage him to shoot. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. He is, in fact, the only man in history. I'm going to speak this with a straight face. The only man in history that Kendall Jenner left his ass for Devin Booker because of the fact of whenever that the two of them ended up fornicating, this man never could shoot his shot.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And that's why Devin Booker did it, man.
That's awesome. That's the best analogy of the day right there. That's the best one yet. That's
and I'm going to say this about Ben Simmons. He's not trash.
In all seriousness, he's a jump shot away from being as good. I know this might sound crazy to some of you, as good as LeBron, maybe. Because he's a great passer. Okay, he's a great defender.
Yeah,
he just doesn't have a jump shot. But in today's NBA, you need a jump shot.
You need to shoot.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. That's how people last in the league long. How do you think people will last in the league that long? Last 19, 18 years, they can shoot. They'll be able to shoot. This is like Ben Simmons is exactly the equivalent to a glitch on 2K. Anytime when you ended up getting an open space right there to end up shooting your shot right up onto the bucket, he's just like, passes the ball. He passes the ball.
For sure, he's confident in his shot, so that's why he's more of an unselfish player because he's not confident in his ability to knock down the jump shot.
Okay, so.
Then Ben Simmons meet Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, he's very happy.
I've been going around and saying I have become the unpaid defense attorney of Ben Simmons. Like, this is ridiculous. It's a very taxing job. It involves long hours. It's a very hard job, but God damn it, somebody has to do it. You feel me? Yep. There's got to be a Superman in the world. There's got to be a Batman. And God damn it, there has to be a Ben Simmons defender. Unfortunately, it's my obligation to take that mantle, that cursed mantle, and run with it. He's not trash. He's fine. What he's doing is everything in his power to make the Sixers let him go. That's what he's doing. Now,
Gridiron, you keep Cam Newton. That's who I compare Russell Westbrook to. Cam Newton.
Yo, come on. I'll be honest with you. There's no other person you can compare him to.
Well, there is a bit of a comparison there because they are both journeymen.
And think about this. Cam Newton can't throw a deep ball. He cannot throw a deep ball. Let's be completely honest about that.
Can't make a shot. So
But what's so similar about the two of them?
Russell Westbrook, he'll shoot it. He'll shoot it, but he won't make it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Man, this guy used to be blowing layups. You man, you might be out there blowing layups.
He's a shooter. He's not a maker. That's what it is with him, bro.
Listen. You could shoot your shot, but I'ma promise you, like this is the term I have always been told when it comes to life. Okay, the arrow doesn't hit the target. The target is what draws the arrow. So, unfortunately, you need some better arrows or you need to find a different target, Russell Westbrook, because you are not hitting the target as you are supposed to. But
you need to go into fashion design, maybe.
Right.
No, he's horrible at that. He's horrible at that.
Some of the shit he be wearing is like,
yo, it's like, dude, when did the tree on your head grow so much that it poked a hole off your fedora, dude?
I don't know. But let me just say this about Ben Simmons, right?
Like the other day, he made bell bottoms look bad.
I'm in the camp where I believe
this is how Damian's smoking. Westbrook is Cody Parkey. Please get out of here.
Look, I'm not playing that game. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
No.
But I'm gonna say this. Ben Simmons is not trash, right? The only problem with him is his jump shot. He does everything else great. He really does. He can run the floor great. He can play defense great. He can rebound great. He could do. The only thing is the jump shot. Now, does he need a jump shot to increase his stock? Yes, he's gonna need it. There's no debate. I'm not gonna argue with anybody about that. However, even as he is, I mean, there's still teams out there that would take him. There really is. The problem is if we look. This is how it is in every negotiation. You cannot. It's very rare for a negotiation to benefit both teams. It's very rare. If somebody gets, if there's a trade, something is gonna negatively impact both teams in some way, shape, or form. That's just a fact of it. Whether it means you're risking a guy, you're risking some minutes from an uppercomer you think is nice. Whether you lose draft picks, it's gonna negatively impact the team somehow, right? Yeah. The problem is what they want for Ben Simmons is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Ben Simmons still needs work, and the thing is, he for some unknown reason can't do it, and people are thinking maybe it's just around, like maybe it's just the area he's in. By the way, you said it's funny how I can defend Ben Simmons and bash his Kyrie. First of all, you're an idiot. Because if you understood my position on Kyrie, you would understand I'm not bashing him.
Pride, be nice. Use nice words.
No.
Use your words.
I mean, he is a viewer. Be nice to him.
I don't care. I'm gonna speak my mind. Freddie bashes him more than I do. Freddie's the one who says that he's selfish. Freddie's the one that says he should quit. Freddie, I'm calling him a pick-me.
Yeah.
I'm calling him a pick-me because Kyrie Irving desperately fiends for attention.
He does.
And if you play like garbage, like garbage in the damn playoffs, you should be bashed.
Right.
If you like your teammates, you should be bashed. You play like garbage about that whole playoffs, shooting all them shots, and then want to blame it on your teammates. Hell yeah, I'll bash you too.
And it's not because he thinks the earth is flat. It's because of all
and water's not wet.
The stuff that he puts his team in. The situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, it's the situation that he puts his team in. Like, don't you think it's kind of selfish of him? Of some of the things that he does?
No, let me give you a perfect example about Kyrie Irving. Okay, and this is where this is what I've speculated. Yeah, this is what I've speculated. The Brooklyn Nets doesn't like. This is how I can compare this to an OBJ situation because Brooklyn doesn't really need Kyrie. They're fine with Kevin Durant and James Harden because you have shooters there. You have guys that are capable of putting the points up. The only problem is they don't have a stabilized bench. They got that the second that they ended up trading away Karis LeVert, who's now just injury prone up over there in Indiana. And then you had a couple of other good role players. So that's what Brooklyn really needs to focus on. And for Kyrie, for note, pre-Kyrie in Cleveland was a really good talent because he's a clutch shooter. He's a guy that is a very good handler of the ball. He really is. And he's a guy when he's actually mentally focused can play better. That's why Cleveland was able to win the championship. But the second he said, oh, I'm above everybody, I should deserve my pay. That's where Cleveland was like, fine, we'll ship you to Boston. He'll go to Boston. Both him and Gordon Hayward both hurt in that first year that they were there in Boston. Jason Tatum took him to the Eastern Conference Final.
Thank you.
Jason Tatum did. And so at that point, you didn't really need it because here's what's funny about that. The next year, they got eliminated in the second round by Milwaukee.
And you know what he did all year?
Second round.
Bashed his teammates.
Yep.
Because of his garbage play. His garbage play in the playoffs. He played garbage throughout that whole season.
Yes.
They complained about I should get more shots.
Yeah,
and then there's nights that he wants to take off, and then nights he wants to show up.
Right.
And
Pride, you know this too, because when he was injured, Jason Tatum's numbers was through the roof. When Kyrie was healthy, Jason Tatum's numbers went down. And then when he's not on the floor, his numbers went back up again.
Yes, like literally.
Man, Jake knows this shit. Jake knows this shit.
Yep.
I trust my eyes and I trust my gut.
Right,
that's where I'm just like, yeah.
When Kyrie said, "Oh, I'll come back if you'll have me," I was like, "I'm telling you this right now. If we'll have you, I'm turning my card in. I ain't gonna be a fan. Ain't no way." Because again, Kyrie Irving. But again, the point I'm saying, I'm not even talking about the fact that with Brooklyn, every single time he had a horrible shooting night, something else was always important. I'm not going to talk about the sabbatical that he never let the organization know. I'm not going to talk about the horrible leadership he displayed in Boston. I'm not going to talk about the fact that every single time that he did something wrong, he bashed it on the youngsters. And when the youngsters kept their mouth shut, he said they need to fall in line. I'm not going to talk about Cleveland when he felt like he did it all and then wants to ignore the fact that LeBron had a huge role in that. I'm not going to bring up the fact that back in Cleveland the first time before LeBron came and saved him from irrelevancy. I'm not going to bring up the fact that he was doing the same thing, that he was ball hogging, where a lot of teammates have problems with him doing that. I'm not going to bring up the fact that he always went on his sabbaticals when he went to prison. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm talking about right here, right now, what he is doing. And I've been consistent with saying this. He is being a pick-me because every single time he has the opportunity to clear the air, Jonathan Isaac said, look, I don't know what it is. This is my stance on it. It is what it is. Andrew Wiggins said it's a religious thing. Then he ended up taking the vaccine. My thing with both of those guys, at the end of the day, guess what? They made a choice. They made the choice that was best for them. They made the choice that they're comfortable with and the choice that they're willing to go through their life with.
Yep.
Kyrie's not doing that. He's kind of like, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. I'll let you guys know next week. Next week comes, no one knows. Week after that, when people start to ignore him, he comes back. Okay, guys, I'm back, and I did a little more research, but not really. I didn't learn anything, but I don't know. But I'll be back and give you. That's my problem with Kyrie.
Yes.
He doesn't care about. And this is the part that if y'all watch any of his lives, you'll understand. He doesn't care about the vaccine.
Nope.
He's not fully committed.
He's not committed.
He's not fully committed. His head is not completely invested in whether or not do you want to win another championship in your career or not. That's it.
That's why I say I don't think he'd want to play basketball.
It doesn't have to involve a biased thing like vaccine or not. This is clearly common sense life stuff. If you're not invested into a process, then I don't need you. I'd like to have you be a part of the process because it's a beautiful opportunity. We've got something great going on. But if you're not fully invested, then we don't need you. I don't care how your talent is. I don't care exactly if you won a championship and you earned your stripes, because it's all about focusing right now.
Right.
Because Brooklyn wants a championship, but you cannot be lingering on short strings and say, oh, I'm in it. No, I'm not in it. I'm in it. That's inconsistency. I don't need that.
See, again, yes, this is the part you're not understanding. This is the part where you are now showing the fact that you don't know what you're talking about. If he were to say, come out and say, and end it, I don't want to take the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not comfortable with it. That's not me. I'm not taking it. This whole thing is all done.
Yeah, we done.
Because now, guess what would happen? Brooklyn would then say, okay, now we're going to trade him. Do you want to know why Brooklyn is not trading? Because there are plenty of other teams out there that don't require the vaccine mandate. Do you want to know why they're not trading him? Because they don't know what Kyrie is thinking, because Kyrie does not know himself.
Yep.
That's the problem.
He's not mentally there.
Yeah, he's
you know,
not.
And
Yeah,
again,
he's
I'm
not.
listening.
And
The thing
his
is-
heart is not with basketball. It's
talking about
clearly,
like the vaccine.
it's clear. It's clear as day that he doesn't care about basketball. He has all these other thoughts going through his mind. He is not focused on basketball. There's other things that Kyrie Irving wants to do, and I think he's doing too much, and he can't decide on what it is he really wants to do. But I do know this for sure, that he's not fully committed in playing basketball. Now, if he wants to pursue activism, go for it. If there's other things he wants to do off the court and help the community and be a presence there, then that's maybe where Kyrie Irving needs to be. It's definitely not in the NBA right now. Even if he needs a break and just need to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take some time off. I need to step away from the game for a little bit and maybe come back next year, then I'm totally fine with that. Because sometimes we need to clear our mind. But you can't mislead a team and make it as if you're either in or you out. You're it's one or the other. Make up your mind. Either you're going to play or you're not.
Right. And here's the thing about him, Mike. That's the problem. You're saying he's not for or against it. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Jonathan Isaac doesn't know nothing about the vaccine. And what did he say? I'm not taking it right now. That's just me. Kyrie Irving isn't doing that. He's like stalling and delaying. If Kyrie Irving had just went out and said, you know what? Jonathan Isaac was right. I don't know what this is going to do to me. This is my personal opinion. This is how I feel about it. I don't want to put it in me. If he had said that, then everything that's it. Everything he could clean this up with literally 2 minutes. Come on and say, look, I don't feel about it. I'm good. It is what it is, or whatever. He did, but Mike, he didn't say that though. Because if he were to say that, guess what? Brooklyn would have tried to trade him. I watched the whole live. Brooklyn would have tried to trade him already. Kyrie Irving keeps going back and forth. And that is the problem I'm having with him. If you just come out and say, you know what, as of right now, I'm not doing it. It is what it is. The organization would then try to look at other teams and say, okay, other teams got Kyrie Irving available. Let's go to the teams that the vaccines are mandated. We go from there. But don't sit there and tell me that's what Kyrie is saying when literally, if you listen to the live, he contradicts himself every other sentence.
Kyrie needs to be honest and own it.
Bro,
Right.
he advocates
He needs to be honest and own
on
it.
his thing, realizes he's doing it, then doubles back.
And he needs to make
That's
a
my
decision.
problem. It's like,
And I
bro,
need-
It's simple. Make a decision.
Make a
if you
decision.
want to take it,
Make a
whatever.
decision.
Listen, I'm not forcing no one to take any vaccine.
And stop with the
That's not my
contradiction.
Yeah, that's not my job. My job is not to force anybody. That's not my job.
Right.
However, if you're going to sit there and tell me that Kyrie Irving is not really just chilling and he's not kind of playing this whole thing up for attention, I don't know what to tell you.
He
Because
is.
like I said, this could have been easy. Kyrie Irving could have said, I'm not taking the vaccine. It is what it is. And they go from there.
Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers are doing it's the same thing.
No, it's not. Oh, no, it's not.
It's
Oh, no,
all
it's
this
not.
other stuff.
No,
Aaron
it's not.
Rodgers lied. Aaron Rodgers lied for no reason.
I think we all can agree. I think we all can agree here that both of them are divas. I think we could.
Oh, they
I think
both
that's
divas.
a fair,
Yeah, but
that's
every
a fair
divas.
assessment on
But
both
every
of these
great
guys.
player-
When you evaluate their personalities and you look at how they behave and how they act as individuals, they are both divas. They both demand a lot of attention. They both require a lot of things. They are needy athletes. They need to be front center all the time.
Yep.
And that's just who they are. I mean, they love the spotlight. They crave for all the noise and attention, and the people feed into it by talking about them. You got to remember too, guys. We as fans and members of the media and the writers, we create these players' egos. We are responsible for creating their brand. And some of this is our faults for buying into it, feeding into their nonsense. And Kyrie Irving definitely craves attention, but he also has to deal with some of the mental, things that's going on in his head right now. Obviously, I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to use this as an excuse either, but he's mentally unsound right now. And that's
I won't go that far. I'm not going that far.
That's what I'm saying. But it's the truth, though. I don't think he's all mentally there either, Pride. And that's not me sounding mean or trying to offend anybody. But it's just the way I see it. As a person who's dealt with my own issues, personal issues, and health problems. But yes, some of this can be used as an excuse as well, and some of this can be for attention. And that's what the problem is with a lot of people. They don't know if is it mental illness or is it that he just wants attention? And that's why sometimes we can't, escape the stigma that's attached to mental illness, because we don't know if a person is doing it for attention or they really are dealing with some kind of mental challenges. We don't know.
I don't know if it's mental with Kyrie.
I mean, the way when you called it out, Pride, the way it seemed, how he left the team on multiple occasions without even telling the team, that could be something mental right there. You're not telling the team, then giving the team a call and stuff like that, and then you study going through issues when you constantly not having great games, you constantly calling your teammates out and stuff instead of putting responsibility on yourself as well. And but him leaving the team and stuff and not telling nobody, and people are worried about him, and Steve Kerr have to answer to the media. Steve Nash had to answer to the media and say, I don't know what Kyrie is, and you have teammates have to answer for him. That seems like mental issues right there. That study keep happening. You keep going out playing one game, then you'll struggle, then you'll go out, you'll leave the next game and not your teammates not knowing when you
And look, it's true. Look,
inconsistencies right there. And Pride, he doesn't owe his team the commitment, but he does owe them an answer.
Yeah, listen, I'm not here because Freddie's under the opinion that he's betraying his team and he's selling them out and all this stuff. I'm not going that far because at the end of the day, I always felt like if the teams can trade you, no problem. You should be able, you know what I mean? My only thing is, if you're taking a sabbatical every other day, and again, when he shoots well, he loves the media. And if he doesn't, that's a problem. It is. You know what I mean? By the way, I bet if LeBron was doing this, I'll be okay with it. But since what he's doing, but since it's not LeBron, again, you're an idiot because not only is A, people been saying this for years, but B, there have been a couple press conferences that LeBron has missed, and we slaughtered him. So do me a favor, Damian.
We even call him out for quitting on his teammates. Come on now. We call him out for quitting on his teammates multiple times. Come on now.
The initial plan for Kyrie Irving was to team up with
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Actually, because they've been talking before they teamed up all season and all through the season and All-Star break when they got together. So they was already planning to team link up with each other.
You owe your friend Kevin Durant an explanation too. Like, bro, what's going on here? Are you in or you're out? What do you want to do? Do you want to play or you don't?
My only thing is just stop milking it. Pick a side for now. That's
it.
That's right.
Don't hold them hostage.
Right. Yep. And again, I'm not even saying it for the team's sake. But also for your sake. For your own sake, make a decision so that way you can now act accordingly. If you don't want to take it because you don't know, make that decision. Now, if you still want to play basketball, you can go to the team and say, look, I'm not taking it. Now they can trade you. Now you can go to a place where if basketball is what you want to do, you can go to a place where you can play and the vaccine doesn't matter. And there's no mandate on you.
Yeah, or don't play basketball at all. If your head not in it, don't play at all. No, just tell them I'm not going to play at all.
His head is just not in it. His head is not in the game.
I don't think this is like a mental illness with him. I don't think so. I don't, unless he comes out and says it.
We don't know. We don't know for sure.
We don't know, but the
the
stance is making it feel like that it's a mental problem with him, the way everything is going on, and he's not telling nobody, and everybody else is worried. And then you got Kevin Durant. Y'all been talking all season, and you got Kevin Durant moving from Golden State, where he was successful at, going to Brooklyn all of a sudden, though, just to team up with you, and you're not owning the coaching staffs and your teammates' explanation of where do you want to play for this team or not, or do you see yourself somewhere else, or instead of telling, hey, my head is not in it, I'm not playing basketball for nobody at all.
Let me just say one thing real quick. There's at least 3 times I've called him out. 2011 against Dallas, I've said that consistently. LeBron got to wear that because it was LeBron's fault. Number 2, I think it was the last finals when he was with Cleveland and J.R. Smith messed up. And in that overtime, LeBron was on the floor pouting. I called him out for that.
I have called LeBron out on several occasions.
Hey, we all called him out. We all called him out. And plus, the Lakers aren't even my goddamn team, so I don't even probably worry about them. So what the hell you talking about, Damien? Stay off the tobacco sauce. And tell Tony La Russa to stop being a drunk. Tell him to stop being a drunk. Stop drinking.
And the third thing I gotta say.
Oh, he's a White Sox fan.
Yeah, Tony La Russa be drinking. Yeah, tell Tony La Russa to stop drinking.
He has battle alcoholism, and he got busted.
The third thing is I'm calling him out this year because if this Russell thing doesn't work out, LeBron's got to take it on his chin because he's the reason, or at least one of the main reasons, that Russ is there. So again, Damien, this is yet another instance of you trying, failing miserably. But
reaching.
You're striking out too.
Far reaching too damn far.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I like Damien, though. I like all our viewers. I appreciate everyone that tuned into us. They're awesome.
Oh, no, same. I know. Listen, bro. For those watching, of course, I have no problems with y'all. But when you on one, you on one. And I gotta let y'all know. It comes from love, but I gotta let y'all know regardless. You feel me? Y'all may hate me, and that's okay. Because I love when people hate me. I love it.
I know how that is. My fiance is Latina, so.
Bro, I love it. I love when they hate me. But I
know how that is.
Brooklyn needs to sit down with Kyrie, and they need to say, yo, Kyrie, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And just figure out, like, are you got to move on for him or not? Because
they need to have a team meeting. They need to have a team meeting.
No, not a team meeting. Not a team meeting. Not team meeting.
Because everyone is part of the team. It's a team.
No. Listen. This is not the decision that Claxton should be involved in.
You have to
Patty Mills should have no say in it. Blake Griffin should not be determining where this franchise goes. To me,
I mean,
it's the front office, and not even Steve Nash, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. But you sit down with Kyrie and say, bro, where are we going from here? Let us know, because if you want to leave, that's fine. Let us know so that way we can go accordingly.
The worst that could happen is
Kevin Durant. You can't just tell Kevin Durant and James Harden them. It's a whole team thing. So a team meeting will be possibility. You need to have a team meeting, not just other guys on the team and the coaching staff and the GM.
Yeah.
It needs to be a whole organization discussion on where they want to move, what direction he wants to go in, what direction they feel like they need to go in. Everybody just needs to be a part of it. Because he left the team. He did that, not them. They worried about him. They were worried about him. He needs to tell us.
Exactly. And here's the thing, too. Wait, hold on.
If the Lakers go and trade Russell Westbrook, is Malik Monk going to be in that meeting? Is Carmelo Anthony going to be in that meeting?
I just think it's professional. It's professional to have everyone there.
Have everyone.
No.
Why not?
Why not? I mean,
the team. So you got to have a team meeting. His decision affects the team.
No, you don't.
But I wanted to say this though: the best case scenario is that they have a team meeting and he decides what he wants to do. The worst case scenario is that Kawhi say, "I'm done." I mean, Kyrie says, "I'm done with this," and he says it publicly. And
he's not telling the team. He's not telling the team what's going on.
Social media hears about it before everyone else does, and then that's how the Brooklyn Nets hear about it. That's the worst thing that could happen.
I will defend Kyrie in this aspect. They ain't no team meeting whatsoever. There ain't no team meeting need to be needed whatsoever. He needs to have a conversation with the front office to figure out where it is, And if you want players there, then Kevin Durant and James Harden. Because Kevin Durant was like, yo, Kyrie, you coming with me? And for James Harden, because James Harden appeal was to go there. So, in Kyrie Irving's defense, this does not have to be no team meeting. If there's going to be any players, it's going to be those two and the front office. And they sit down, they have a conversation, figure out where to go from here, and whether they stay together, part ways, whatever the case may be, whatever.
Well, he's going to have to make a decision because you don't want this to become a distraction for your team. As you make
if I'm Kyrie, just retire. And the reason I said you can always come back.
Or take a year off.
Yeah, just do that. Do that. That way you could be like, you know what? I'm not worried about basketball. That's clear off my head. I ain't got to worry about that. Let me go handle whatever it is that I want to do, whatever's on my mind, et cetera, et cetera. Let me go do that. Like, and again, you can always come back. We've seen players go years without playing in the NBA and come back. Whether they just stopped playing, whether they went to China, whether they went to Europe, no matter the case, just because you retire doesn't mean like you can never come back. That's just my thing on it. But apparently, like I said before, he's one of those guys that you can't criticize because, you know, Kyrie Irving, his feelings get hurt. Oh, man. 2 hours and 10 minutes. 2 hours and 10 minutes. Man, this was fun. I love doing this every morning.
It was. I love it.
100%.
Awesome show, guys. Awesome show.
Yeah,
yes,
John,
sir.
you got any last words?
I just want to send my prayers out to the people who lost who lost their loved ones in that tragedy yesterday in Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys heard, but a driver plowed into a crowd. That there was a Christmas parade going on. And some SUV just plowed through the crowd and I believe killed 8, if I'm correct, and 50 or more are injured. It's just a sad situation. So I send my thoughts and prayers to those who are struggling with the loved ones that they've lost. Just a sad situation.
Yeah, I feel you. What's it called? Dante, you got anything to say?
I mean, always great to wake up in the morning and speak to you guys, be active and stuff on, supporting each other, whether if it's on a video or Facebook or something like that. But I'll shout out to everybody, man, for being on here early in the morning, being able to talk about the game and have fun, just doing what we do best, and that is being some great analysis like we always do. So it's always been fun, man.
Yes, sir. And we got Greg. Got any last words, my guy?
Hey, man. Like I said, I always have a good time with y'all, man. We always chop it up. I love being on here. You know what I'm saying? I love, that we can come here in the morning, talk our stuff, and at the end of the day, everybody's still cool. So, man, I love it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Free Ben Simmons. That's my whole thing. Free Ben Simmons. Matter of fact, I'm upset since I'm on right now. Pop out rapid fire. Yo, Dante. Houston sucks. Portland Trailblazers are your favorite team. Boom, roasted. Yo, Greg, the Chiefs suck. They're gonna lose the Super Bowl. Boom, roasted.
Okay.
Jonathan, Lakers are garbage, and I'm glad the Dodgers lost. Boom, roasted. There we go.
Hey, Jonathan had a tough weekend, man. USC got pounded.
Yeah.
Lakers been getting pounded all weekend, man. Jonathan had an old
Ohio State going around Alabama.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a tumultuous year for LA sports fans, I would say. But you know what? We had a lot of positive memories. We've had a lot of great times here in Southern California. I mean, we're a spoiled fan base, but it sucks when your team is losing.
I feel you.
And not just one, but you got like 3 teams here that's losing. So
my goodness.
I mean, it's horrible.
It's obviously it's been your boy Prime on behalf of Coach Greg and Jonathan. This has been ASAP in the morning. We will be right back here tomorrow morning. Be safe, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and we'll see you all real soon.
Whole sports, all plays. Yeah. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.